Alright guys, this is the integrated tail box for the Mikado Logo 600 and 600 SE. It's basically made for the 25mm boom, so if your Logo 500 SE or 500 uses a 25, you could use that on that too. And let me take it apart and I'll show you how it goes together. Alright, so the tail box comes out the box like this. And nothing on this actually is Loctited. So you'll have to take everything out, all the screws out, and re-Loctite them. Mine's might have some Loctite on them because this tail box was already mounted. So I took out these, take out these, and this is just a 1.5mm. And then this will come out, and this is a few pieces actually. Got two of these pieces, and then you have your two bearings with a washer in the middle and one more on the other side like this. So this is really a few pieces here, so I'd be careful with that. It can come apart pretty easy. And as you can see, we have for the tail belt crank here, that'll come off. It's a separate piece, which is nice. If it bends in a crash or something, we can replace it. That screw should come out. There we go. Just a 1.5. And now we have the main frame. Basically, it's all aluminum. It's a really nice finish to it. And this is where the real tricky part comes. The way they designed this is actually a pin and then there's actually a little grub screw in there. So if you can see, there's the little hole right there. There's the bigger hole with the grub screw in there. It'll make a lot more sense when I take it apart and you'll see. So take that out. And then you'll need I have a piece of carbon, 1mm, or something to push the pin out. Well, basically, the pin is 90 degrees to this grub screw. So you'll have to take your wrench and turn it. Hold your Allen key on the hole and churn the actual hole housing, and it'll actually churn, and you'll see the pin. And basically I'm gonna turn it around. There's a bigger hole and there's a smaller hole, and I'm just gonna push it right out. Basically all that is just a little pin. And then after we do that, take that tail shaft out, and that should come right out. There we go. Okay, so this is the tricky part right here. Let's say this is actually two pieces. So this is your actual pulley, and then you have this collar with a small hole and a larger hole. Okay, and then you have on this back end you have 3 holes. 1, 2, and 3. This hole and this hole will be where the pin goes through. There, goes through that hole right there. So basically you line it up and that it goes through there. And those are the 2 smaller ones, and the bigger one is threaded, so you can put your little grub screw through. And this is the collar. So basically how it works, I'll show you like this. You'll put pretend this is in like that. It'll be in. And you put your pin through there, and then once you put your pin, you have to rotate it 90 degrees and it locks that pin in there. So it'd be like that. It locked that pin in there, and on this side it goes all the way through, and then that's where you can put your grub screw right there, and it'll actually tighten down. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's not much of a mark. You can see a little. Not sure if you can see it, but it'll lock down right to the main shaft. So there's almost no way that you should have this pulley come off the main shaft, the pulley come off the tail shaft. It's a really good design. It's a little harder to install, a little extra. It's a couple extra steps, but it's a very nice design. Okay, and then this is what you'll need off your Logo 600 kit. Off the stock, you'll need the tail grips with the slider and the tail belt crank. All right, next part will be me actually installing it on the heli. Okay, this is the actual install. You'll need some blue Loctite. I like to use blue. Not too much of a fan on red on the tail section. So you'll need your tail boom. And basically what I did, I dremelled off some of the coating on top, on the end. You don't have to do this. It's just something I did just because I had a wire here basically for the anti-static. So I just dremelled with my Dremel tool and sanded it basically. So it has contact with the aluminum, not needing that wire. So that's why I did that. And it's a pretty tight fit actually with this tail case, so that would help a little bit with fitment. Okay, so basically you have, first I'd put this on, it goes here, then you grab your screw, apply a little thread locker, and you'll have to thread lock every screw because nothing comes on here thread locked. So simply set it through that hole and just put it on. Very simple and pretty quick. Okay, after that I like to put the tail box on. Make sure your tail's turned the right way, and then I put it on actually farther than when it needs to, just so it's easier to put on the pulley. So your pulley, basically those two pieces, you put it together, line it up with the pin, so it's just easier to put the pin in later. You don't have to kind of search for it. And let's make sure that's in enough. Okay, so now take the belt out, and now this is a little you'll just have to play with it a little bit, try to get this pulley in. I usually do it from the bottom. There you go, it's not too bad. And there it is, it's in place. And then after it's in place, take your tail shaft, line up the pulley and just feed it right through. Okay. Okay, so it shifted on me a little bit. There we go. And now I use this little piece of carbon here I cut out. It's a 1mm, and I just find the hole. And then you'll just need a pair of pliers. You can drop that pin right in. Use the bigger hole. There's two holes on the collar. You got to use the bigger one to drop the pinion in. It's pretty simple. Nope, I don't have it perfect. Should be able to. Let me see. I didn't line it up good. Oh, there we go. I didn't do a good job the first time, but it's not hard at all. Might take some patience, but once it's in, it's in. There you go. So basically after that, you can rotate this 90 degrees to find the hole where it's threaded, the threaded hole. There it is, right there. And then once you put this grub screw in, put a little blue Loctite or red, whatever you want to use, and you just put it right in. And when you put that in, and it's perfect. I mean, the pin is in, you got the grub screw, and there's no way that pin's gonna come out unless that comes out and it rotates 90 degrees, and I highly doubt that would ever happen. So after that, you can You can pull your tail out some, get your belt tension a little bit if you want. Okay, after that I like to install this little bearing system for the belt. Basically you just put it right into there. It's pretty simple. There's 2 screws on each side. These little screws. I already have Loctite on them, so just put that in. And then if you want, you can use actually 2 Allens on each side and get that on there. But don't get it too tight, because it's just like a spindle. It's going to be hard to take off that other bolt if you get them too tight. Alright, that's basically it for that. Okay, and then you got your tail fin, which is not included, and you can actually use the one from your logo, the carbon tail box. You can use that fin, it'll fit perfect. The actual fins are going to come in at the end of March, so not too long. So, but this is just a T-Rex 500 fin that I dremeled and made the hole slightly deeper, and it works perfect. So and you can put that on, and basically all it is it's just clamping it right on there. Very similar to the original logo. There's not really any pin or any screw that goes through the boom or anything. It just clamps it right on. You're just using clamping. And it does pretty good. It's pretty tight. It's a very tight fit, so just crank down on that a little bit. Then all you have to install is your tail grips, which just install just like the stock. Just throw on some Loctite on that. Make sure I'm lined up. Just like that, get that pretty tight. And then put some Loctite on that a little bit, make sure it doesn't get in the bearings. And make sure that gets in there. And basically just tighten that down, and alright, I'll tighten that later. But that's basically all there is to it, and there's the finished product. It's very nice. We'll have a flight video very soon of how it performs. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.